everyone. I will be spending the next 15 or so, maybe a bit less if I make it short and sweet since it's 4:15, talking about how we reformed our data platform using ClickHouse at Silverflow, especially to cater to near-instance analytics. So this is me. My name is Roberta. I'm Italian, 26. I have been living in the Netherlands a bit longer than my Dutch lets on. And next to me, in spirit and on the slide, is Dave. David is our resident data engineer at Silverflow, and he is also the main mind behind our data platform. He couldn't be here today, so I'll be filling in for him. So Dave and I, we work at Silverflow. I am very tempted to go for the whole how many people here know Silverflow. It is pretty niche, but I want to do it. How many of you know Silverflow? Okay, Tyler, you don't count. Kai, you also don't count, but okay. The rest of you will know after today. Silverflow is a payment processing platform, and we are cloud native. The goal is to replace more legacy systems with a unified API that allows our customers to connect directly to the card networks. And we aim to cut complexity of actually connecting to the card networks and accelerating our customers' time to market. I've been working at Silverflow for years, but Silverflow has been around since 2019. We are based in Amsterdam, but ever since we actually expanded quite rapidly and scaled up quite rapidly, and we now have offices in London, New York, and we operate in 3 regions, which is Europe, of course, the US, and Asia Pacific. Now, this is all fantastic, but rapid growth also means that data volume and complexity increase quite a lot. And for us, at this stage, it is crucial to be able to gather the insights that we need to optimize and to scale from this data. So we do need a performant and maintainable data platform, including a streamlined ETL pipeline. So, as I mentioned, we grow in size, we expand to new regions, we expand our offerings, we develop features, we develop it fast. That means that we have nowadays a lot of systems, a lot of components, a lot of event types that are emitted by our feature teams, and that is without counting system events. And all of this needs to be handled and hopefully needs to be leveraged. So this is a little bit of what our data platform looked like up until a few months ago. We had an event bus, and feature teams who own their own domain events would publish on the bus. They would end up on an event archive, and we would have scheduled glue jobs as part of our data pipelines that would read from the event archive, remap the events, depending on the version of the events, and then put them into an S3 data lake. Then from there, they could be queried with Athena and put into our visualization layer, which is Grafana and other BI tools. And this has served us well. Now, on the slide, you see only one glue job. As you can imagine, since there are quite a lot of events, there were quite a lot of glue jobs. So again, this served us well, but as we scaled, we encountered a few bottlenecks. Mostly the latency of it all and the engineering cost to maintain all of this. So in terms of latency, the data started being just slow to ingest and slow to query. For context, some critical data took us, on average, even 20 minutes to just be available for querying. And then querying would take 1 to 3 seconds to start, and often 10 to 20 seconds to actually give a result. When the data is supposed to inform time-critical decision or time-sensitive decision, or things like anomaly detections and other types of monitoring and alerting, this is clearly less than ideal. And another problem was our cost of engineering. Our ETL pipelines were cumbersome, required a lot of maintenance, and in turn, that became quite expensive for our engineers. So we had one ETL pipeline per event type and version. The events, as I mentioned, barring the system events, the main events are responsibility of the feature teams. There are 6 feature teams, 1 data engineering team. We were outnumbered. So these events also evolve fast, and they change just as fast, and it was just very hard for us to keep up with all of that. So Dave, mentioned before, and a few others from the team, ended up at the 2025 Data Innovation Summit in Stockholm at some point earlier this year. And they met with a few people, went to a few keynotes, talked about data. And they came back to Amsterdam, and they wrote all of it down in some notes. And the notes read something like this. So this is for the marketing team at ClickHouse. ClickHouse, this is so awesome, it gets a separate heading. The heading is also quite catchy, ClickHouse, new approach to JSON. We are very conservative with headings at Silverflow, so this is actually an honor. But I was definitely intrigued. So I got together with Dave, and fast forward to a few months later, we had set up our first ClickHouse cluster using ClickHouse Cloud that ingests all of our events from our existing event bridge and event bus architecture, where the feature teams publish the events, via a Kinesis stream and with ClickPipe directly into one single table that is dynamically typed. From there, we generate a few materialized views that we use to improve performance of the more critical queries and to speed up aggregations. And then they are all queried and end up in Grafana, or can be viewed in Grafana. So why did this, again, deserve a separate heading, but which we are very conservative over at Silverflow? So this solved our problems in a few ways. So the first problem that I talked about was the latency. So data was slow to be ingested, to be queried, in general, to be available. And ClickHouse catered to that. It is a column-oriented SQL DBMS. As it turns out, it being column-oriented comes in pretty handy when querying things. So I think a few of you might be familiar with the technology, but it only reads the necessary data that we need to query. Our events are very big, so being able to strip that down and reduce I/O actually improves performance quite a lot. And this is crucial for analytical workloads. We could also just very easily set it up with our current event bridge stack and Kinesis to be ingested via ClickPipe. And as I think was mentioned before during the ClickPipes presentation, that also happens to be much, much faster than our previous ingestion pipeline. So for us, that meant that events were faster to query, but also that they were there to be queried much faster. And that enabled us to do more real-time dashboard and faster alerting, and maybe to put some numbers there. The overall latency that I talked about before, which was around 20 minutes to be queried and a few seconds to resolve the query, actually dropped to 65 seconds. So something happens, and then 65 seconds afterwards, we're able to see it on our Grafana dashboard. So that addressed the first one of our 2 bottlenecks, made a lot of product people, non-engineers, account managers very happy to be able to gather all those insights so easily. But I think Dave and I and Kai as well, we also wanted our share of happiness. So on to the second part of our cost, of our bottleneck, which was the cost of engineering. Fortunately, ClickHouse catered to that as well. That's something that hits pretty close to home for me, because we had a lot of events, a lot of different ETL pipelines, glue jobs, a lot of infrastructure around how to ingest these things. And it was very hard for us to keep up with everything when changes happen as fast as they do in a startup, scale-up. Fortunately, we could lever the dynamic JSON typing of ClickHouse to pretty much take everything from our bus via Kinesis, ClickPipe, into a single table, create a few materialized view, and for them to be able to be queried with SQL. That pretty much replaced our whole ingestion pipeline, which is no longer ours to manage. And it also came at a rather rather interesting adoption cost, since ClickHouse is SQL-based. This was pretty much an easy drop-in replacement for any of our existing SQL-compatible tools, talking Grafana, talking QuickSight, or QuickSuite, I suppose. So, this was a little bit of our journey with ClickHouse so far. I think it has been interesting and a good outcome for this experiment. So we want to experiment more. So for us, in the short term, we want to start migrating quite a few of these services that we still have to ClickHouse. And also provide an easy way for non-technical people to be able to query this data from our archives. I think this ties in very well with what Melvin just presented. And in the long term, we want to fully decommission our previous ETL data pipelines and start establishing a new ClickHouse service also in the US. We have some data residency concerns that could be solved by that. And that will bring us to probably experimenting a little bit with cross-cluster queries. So if this was it from my side, if any of this is interesting to any of you, we are hiring starting 2026. So reach out at hr@silverflow.com. And thank you for your attention.